Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So Danny Swift Garcia takes an L to Erislandy Lara. Erislandy Lara, 41 years old. Danny Garcia, 36 years old. On the undercard as the co-main of Canelo Berlanga. Danny Garcia dropped and stopped for the first time in his career. We know Danny has always been known for being sturdy, strong, a tough chin, a lot of heart, a guy that, we've seen get outskilled and outboxed, even outwilled guys just outworking him, throwing more punches than him. Danny Garcia is a really good counter puncher, and he waits for the perfect big left or big right. He has those punches in his arsenal, and he's knocked out many guys and hurt many guys with those punches. And he's been able to get by on that at the lower weight classes. But we've seen him get outboxed before. We've seen him get outboxed and go tit for tat with Sean Porter, but Sean Porter just had a little bit more agility, a little bit more boxing ability, a little bit more skill, a little bit more IQ. But that was a very close 50-50 fight. We seen Danny Garcia get outworked in the early rounds versus Keith Thurman, and then on the back end of that fight, get outboxed. We seen Earl Spence coming forward behind a jab, outbox and out counter Danny Garcia while coming forward. We've seen him beat in multiple ways, but not quite like this. And going into this fight, I knew this was going to be a tough fight for Danny Garcia stylistically. Erislandy Lara, like I just said, guys have already been able to outbox Danny Garcia. You have Erislandy Lara with that Cuban style, one of the still in boxing today at 41 years old, still one of the premier boxers when it comes to just skill, ring IQ, ring generalship, knowing how to control a ring, knowing how to hit and not get hit, knowing how to put guys in position to where their weaknesses are exposed. And it just so happens that Erislandy Lara is at 160, hitting a lot harder. He's stronger. The experience continues to pile up. So, to be quite frank, at 41 years old, Erislandy Lara is probably more dangerous than he's ever been. We know, of course, you get older, reflexes start to wane a little bit, athleticism start to go down just a little bit, but I mean, Lara has been able to keep it all together, and he looked like the stronger and fresher fighter in that ring versus Danny Garcia, a guy who was 5 years younger than him. You dig what I'm saying? And I knew this was going to be a tough fight for Danny stylistically because of the skill set. Number one, Lara is a southpaw, and I knew that straight right hand was going to be in, not straight right hand, but straight left hand. I knew that was going to be in play. I knew the jab from Lara was going to be in play. I knew the foot movement and the foot speed of Lara was going to be in play. Danny Garcia, just super flat-footed, man. Super flat-footed. Don't really have a whole lot of head movement, and moving up in weight didn't help that because he's a little bit more stationary and stagnant with that extra weight on him. So he was right there for the left hand, and ultimately that's what got him. It was a devastating. To be honest with you, the punch itself was devastating, like how it landed, because Danny was kind of moving into the punch, and Lara was throwing a short, sharp left, straight left, and it just perfectly landed right there on the button. But it didn't look crazy because that wasn't one of those punches that Lara put everything into. It was just a technical, hard, stiff, accurate shot. And to be honest with you, those be the ones that get you. And I mean, I had never seen Danny react like that to a punch. I mean, he just slowly withered. You know what I'm saying? Body just dropped slowly. He took a knee. You know what I'm saying? Took a knee, and I think he knew. He knew that wasn't something that he had experienced before, at least under the lights. It's different when you get touched like that in sparring. And honestly, sometimes you might get hit like that in sparring where nobody else understands or knows what's going on. Nobody, It's behind closed doors. There's only a few people in there. And then sometimes you can have a good poker face and hide that shit, but you might feel something in sparring that you never felt before. But in sparring, you can go out there on fight night and show something totally different. But experiencing that in sparring could be the thing that makes you make that decision on fight night that, no, I know I'm not right because I seen this before. When nobody was looking, I seen this before. You know what I'm saying? So I know I ain't right. I know this ain't something that I can deal with. Or it could be a situation where Danny has never experienced this shit before and he was totally like, hey, bruh, I ain't myself. That shot, I never experienced getting hit like that. I never took a knee. I never had nobody hit me hard enough to make me want to take a knee. I never felt my equilibrium being off that bad. I never felt that type of pain or pressure from a shot. And when he went back to the corner, the ref asked, Danny, you good? What we gonna do? And Danny was like, it's up to him. He didn't say nothing for a second, but then he was like, it's up to him, his father, Angel Garcia. And I think Angel knew because the fact that Danny didn't just say, yeah, I'm good, I'm straight, I'm ready, that wasn't shit. And it was towards the end of at the end of the round. So the fact that Danny wasn't demonstratively, trying to prove that he's good, I think Angel knew. He like, oh yeah, he gonna leave it up to me. He gonna leave it in my hands. Oh, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? It's over with. So but the fight was a chess match. It wasn't a very entertaining fight because Danny was, Lara was taking his time and picking his shots, and Danny, we know he don't throw a whole lot of punches. He was waiting to counter, but that was a problem though because Lara, it's hard to just sit back and just counter a guy like Lara because he's very calculated and taking his time with his shots, and if he's faster than you, quicker than you, more accurate than you, just more skilled than you, he gonna get his shit off before you can. And so before Danny Garcia could even really, get anything crazy off, Lara always beat him to the punch. So is it over for Danny Garcia? Honestly, he went up to 160. Probably should have never been up there. They fought at a catchweight 157, but ultimately it's 160. And I think if he's going to continue to fight, he need to be 154. Guys that are a little bit more around his size, even though Lara fought at 54 for a long time. He's bigger, stronger, more filled out now, and he's just overall a better fighter. I think Danny has problems with a lot of guys at 54 as well. Terrence Crawford. That fight ends way worse if that's Terrence Crawford in there. You know what I'm saying? So it might be time to go ahead and call it quits, to be honest with you. And, Danny don't have nothing to be ashamed of. A great career. I remember his run at 140 where he took out Matisse, a guy that was a boogeyman and a monster at that time. I remember Danny Garcia being willing to take on all the top competition. He fought Zab Judah. He fought Amir Khan. You know what I'm saying? He fought at 147. He fought Keith Thurman when Keith Thurman was undefeated. He fought Sean Porter. He fought Earl Spence Jr. You know what I'm saying? So Danny don't have anything to hold his head down about. I remember the Lamont Peterson fight at 140, right before he left out of 140. That was the first time where I seen Danny in some trouble to where it looked like he could possibly, later on in that fight when Lamont Peterson started to come on late, I low-key thought that Lamont could have stopped him if they had a few more rounds. Lamont was starting to bring that shit to him. And what's funny is that in this fight with Lara, I was telling my boy before Lara landed that left hand, I'm like, this might can be the first time because they higher in weight. It's a bigger guy, and it's a guy that got them skills. It might be a time where Danny can get stopped in this fight. So, and that was the first time since that Lamont Peterson fight where I saw that same look in Danny Garcia's eyes where he couldn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of that Lamont Peterson fight, Lamont had figured him out. It wasn't nothing that Danny could do. It was just a matter of time at that point. But, Lamont waited too long to come on. This time, Lara, he put everything together and he got that punch. So, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Do y'all think it's over with for Danny Garcia? What you thought about that fight? Honestly, I think, if he want to keep fighting, he 36. Laura's 41, but age is different for everybody. Danny's been in a lot of fights, a lot of, wars. Man, hey, you had a great career. Go ahead and hang it up, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think his career could possibly be a Hall of Fame one. When you look at the fact that he was unified at 140, became champion at 147, 2-division champion, you fought in multiple weight classes. Hey, man, a really good career in my book. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Contender Regime Boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.